everyone, it's Terry again from the McWanaco Community Library. I'm outside in front of one of my herb beds, my vegetable beds, here on the side of my house. It's on the south side, of course. Anyway, it's looking a little bare. I need to fill it up with some wonderful vegetables and herbs that we use throughout the year. So my lilacs are in bloom, or they're starting to get buds on them, I should say. And a very wise lady told me that that's about the time that you should be thinking to plant your things outside. So if you're like me and are behind the game because you've had to figure out the homeschooling side of life these days, I'm a little bit behind schedule. So I'm going to teach you today how to make little seed pots out of newspaper, so you can just recycle with what you have at home. And then you can plant the newspaper with the seed and the dirt directly into your bed or whatever it is you're going to put that in. It's a very easy craft. It's something that you can do, on your own when you're watching TV or jamming out to some music in your kitchen. It's a craft you can do with your kids, so it's really wonderful thing to do on a nice, beautiful, sunny day like today. So I hope you enjoy. All right, let's get started. So we have all of our supplies. We have the newspaper pieces. We have the rock to hold them down because it's windy. Scissors, masking tape. I'm going to use a paint bottle that I have. I like the size of it, but you can use anything. You could use a dowel or a glass or anything that you want to use. Just has to be something that can fit on your tray. So I like the small ones. I'm going to have a lot of them, so I like this size bottle. And then, of course, I have my seeds, but we're not going to use those right now. We're going to set them aside and use them later. All right, so we take the section of newspaper. It's just one standard folded section, with all the pieces inside. So like the set, section A or B or whatever else. And then you're going to take your scissors. You're going to cut along the folded side. So that's like the middle fold or the center fold. All right, and then you turn it on the side and you cut the two folds off on the one side as well. It doesn't have to be exact. There's no measuring or anything like that. You just kind of trim it off. And now you have a whole bunch of ready loose leaf pages. Put that on there to hold it down because it's pretty windy out here. All right, so I'm going to take some masking tape and I'm going to cut off break off my pieces that I need. A little one for the top and a little bit longer one for the bottom. Oops, my shrivels are flying. And I'm going to get a couple of them ready here. So we're just going to take one piece of paper and set the rest aside for now. I'm going to fold it in half. I don't need mine to be very tall, so we're going to fold them. Let me get these out of the way here. So I like to fold mine in half, and then I have the folded section on the left, and I'm going to have the open ends on the right. Take my bottle and just lay it down across the section. And then while I hold the newspaper against it, I'm just going to roll it around. It doesn't have to be super tight. You just want to get it so that it's rolled around. And then you're going to take the smaller piece of tape and put it right at the top. So then at the other end, if you push on the end of the bottle or the glass or whatever it is you're using, you can see the end of it. This is too long here, so it'd be too bulky to tuck under. So I'm going to cut it so it's about an inch off. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's about an inch or so on there. You're going to fold the one side in, but you're going to start with the seam. So you fold the seam in first and then tuck the rest of it down. Smush it down kind of hard so that you flatten it all out, and then use the longer piece of tape. You want to put the piece of tape on the end of the tail, and then it should come up right on the seam. So you want to get the edge of that seam there on the bottom. Push it down tight, slide your bottle out, and there you are. One done. You can just keep going, keep going. It's a really easy task, really easy project to make. We'll go ahead and make another one just so I can show you again. So you fold it in half. My fold's on the left and the open tails are on the right. And then I just roll. A little piece of tape at the top. And then find the end of the bottle and cut off about an inch below that. And then fold on the seam first, and then tuck the rest in. Push it down pretty hard so it stays nice and flat. You don't want it to tip over especially when it's full of dirt. And then you grab the next piece of tape,
put it on the end of the tail, and then right over the seam like before. Slide your bottle up, and now you have a whole bunch. You can just keep going until you get to the end. Make as many as you need. You can make some bigger, some smaller. It's entirely up to you. Alright, so now I have my 6 pots. Obviously I would do more, but just for the sake of the video I have 6. So we have our little potty soil here. You want to make sure that you use some kind of like a loose soil. You don't want to use old dirt. It's not going to have the minerals and nutrients and things like that the new seeds need. So any kind of potting soil or indoor soil is fine, because you will be putting it outside eventually, so you don't have to worry about it. Then I have my seeds here. So I actually put some here because they're really hard to get out of the package. So look at this cute little shovel. Isn't it adorable? Anyway, it's my daughter's first gardening kit. So go ahead and fill each one up. Fill it as full as you want, but just remember that loose soil it kind of damps down a little bit once it gets wet. So I always fill mine to the top. And you can always clean up the tray later, so don't worry about the extra that's on the tray. I won't fill them all up, we'll just do 2 for now. I have 2 here. And then you take 1 seed, and it's always good to do more than 1. You never know if some of them will germinate, so just push it down a little bit. Cover it up. I always try to grab the ones that kind of look the best. Like this one's like a perfect looking tomato seed. I always try to find the ones, like here's a kind of a blackish one. Here's one that has kind of a wonky side on it. It may have nothing to do with how it grows, but I always pick the best ones just to make sure that I for sure get a chance to have a plant out of it. So this is what you're going to do that with all of the ones that you have on your tray. And then you can put this in a very sunny window. If you have a grow light or something like that, or a little sunroom attachment on your house, which, you know, that's fantastic, you can just put those in there so they can germinate and they can get nice and warm. The soil temperature has to be about 50 degrees or so before you plant outside. So I don't know, you could take a temperature of your soil or kind of like gauge it if you're good with that. So good luck and happy planting.